All right, now we are live. We're live now.
Okay,
Um,
good.
welcome, welcome everyone to the Man of Truth, aka the Villain of Truth, aka the Black Panther of Nigeria. Joining me today is no one else but Mr. Olabode Adiola,
Mm.
right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, Olubode Adiola.
Okay, Olubode. Yeah, thanks for joining us today. Um,
Yeah,
it's it's been a while. Uh,
yeah. It's always a pleasure joining you. Actually, talking about
yeah,
the event and the likes. And yeah, I've also been
yeah,
busy abroad. So I've been busy with school and yeah,
okay.
other activities. But yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Today, I think we have a few subjects we just want to touch on, and probably the audience can also make their comments while we touch on these subjects today. I think our focus is just to have a conversation around one of the trending subjects in the country. At least this week, last week, and this week, we have been having all kinds of conversation or trending subjects moving around House of Rep, Bobrisky, VeryDarkMan, and the rest of it. So we just want to take some time and relate. I want to kind of hear your opinion on most of it. So part of the conversation we'll be having. Thanks for joining, Mr. Rusty. Part of the conversation we are going to be having is the one of Bobrisky on the escape of border, and currently I think he's hospitalized. I don't know if he has been discharged. And we will talk about the House of Rep investigation. Let's look into the files, the bad guy, the earliest interview he had. We might look into VDM and Very Fair Man. Have you heard of Very Fair Man?
Yeah, I think I just saw a single video of him.
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
called. Yeah.
Yeah, we will look at into his subject also. We'll talk about Seun Kuti and Aisha Yusuf. And maybe lastly, we will just touch on Asari Dokubo's comments on the Yorubas. So these are the specific things we are going to be touching on. So please, for those who are joining us, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do subscribe to the channel, like, share, and support the conversation. Thank you, everyone, for joining. So let us start with today's the first number one, which is about the story of Bobrisky escaping border. In your own view, what do you think would have made Bobrisky make a decision to try and escape? Because there's a little narration going on from most of the House of Rep. They are giving us an impression, and the impression is that Bobrisky actually served in jail. So if Bobrisky served in jail, did Bobrisky give the EFCC 15 million naira? Then the question again is there are a lot of things that are going on at the same time. So I want to know from your own viewpoint, do you think Bobrisky actually served jail time, or part of the audio that Very Dark Man actually played out, he actually did those things and he was actually saying the truth? And why do you think would be the reason why he's trying to escape the country?
Okay, yeah. So I think I'm about to just start my responses from the back. I can start with the my view about the truth on whether he actually served jail time or not. So basically, it was like at first he was saying that he or she was saying that it was a doctor. There was an AI recording, and then Falz was the I think the what's it called, the what was filed against Bobrisky and VDM was that the audio was not doctored. Instead, there were quite a number of defamatory words or terms used against Falz and his father. So definitely shows that one party is saying it is doctor, and the another party is affirming that such conversation did happen. So basically, I feel we should just we should I should
Yeah,
address it legally, I might actually want to be at the side of Bobrisky because it is his voice. But if I should assess it logically, it's obvious that all he said were from him, and then there are possibilities that he actually did not serve jail time. So it's more or less like it speaks to the rot of the Nigerian system. And if anything if anything should create an uproar, it should be the fact that how would someone evade jail time in a country where we so much place what's called value on the legal system, and then we always try to fight for justice and the rule of law in so to say. So you know that I think that alone, created a form of investigation by different parties, especially those that will say our, legislators or our political leaders. I mean, for some of
Yeah.
them, it's be like it's a situation of the fact that they felt threatened by the fact that someone could potentially evade jail time. No, for some of them, they might have actually gone through jail time probably for certain EFCC cases or the likes, and then so somebody
Yeah.
coming out to say he did not what's it called, go to prison, or it was accommodated in a partial apartment, or a much more luxurious apartment. It's for crying out loud, it's quite what's it called, non-appealing. So basically, for them to actually request his presence and then make inquiry into what really happened, I feel this was more or less like Bobrisky was slowly entering into a form of bigger trouble. Let me put it that way. Because if you actually assess it, if you actually go by what's it called, what's supposed to happen if it turned out that Bobrisky did not save jail time, he will actually eventually save jail time that he missed. But at the same time, I feel him trying to what's it called, leave the country to Benin Republic, for me is more or less like a continuation of the poor judgment of situation, and then inability to make logical decisions based on specific information. For example, before the story of Bobrisky trying to leave Nigeria to Benin Republic, the summary of the investigation was that Bobrisky actually served jail time according to the panel that conducted the analysis for the House of Representative members, and that was even that for the Minister of what's it called again, the
Interior.
Minister of Interior, and yeah. So I felt it should have probably waited to listen to such finding before making moves, but it still goes back to a continuation of so many wrong decisions taken by Bobrisky himself, and then him landing to this bigger mess. But at the end of the day, I still feel you will get away with it. I was telling somebody, I think I feel you. If truly if truly you evaded jail time, I think you will likely get away with it.
Wow. That's really amazing. That's really amazing. Well, um, what do you think might be the basic reason why he was trying to leave the country? What do you
Okay,
think
so
might be his basic reason? Perhaps, if there is any genuine reason.
any journey. So probably I think you probably made such decision based on the fact that he was probably feeling that the house summons are actually legit, and they really need his presence. So if he's probably feeling that, I think that a situation of the ease of the moment got over him, and then he decided, oh, let me run away. So I think it was just more or less like a reactionary thing. It was not more. It was not like. I feel this situation. The way I look at it, I look at it more deeply. And if I should actually assess these things, my own perception are quite different from what every other person feel. I feel number one, I feel that what's it called? The Godfather is so powerful. That is Bobrisky's Godfather. If he actually exists, is so powerful that he's actually creating a form of diversion on the subject matter concerning whether he truly evaded jail time. Because I feel now, you're talking about Bobrisky now. I feel you're one of the few persons talking about Bobrisky. Almost everybody is now talking about VDM versus Falana. nobody's talking about Bobrisky potentially what's it called, evading jail time. So it has turned to Corona versus what's it called, Bobrisky versus VDM. So it's people of the fact I feel I tell people that anything you see on Twitter or any social media handle, they're not organic. They are a big group of persons that just sat down there and then decided to push out some narrative. So nothing trends organically on any of your social media handles, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. Nothing trends organically. Some people are paid to push out certain narratives, and then if you're not logical enough, your train of thought, might not be well handled, and then you become part of their chess piece.
Okay. Now for me, I have little kind of opinion on why Bobrisky is actually fleeing the country, and
Okay.
part of the part of the things I thought about is like probably he did not serve the jail time, and the reason is when we look at the investigation. Maybe before I even put out my own opinion fully, let me ask you, what did you see about that their investigation from the House of Rep going to the prison warders and start asking them questions? How did you see that investigation going on? Did you think that those warders were actually saying the truth to the
Definitely.
House of Rep, some of the members?
Yeah, I don't feel that they are saying the truth, and I think it's a clumsy investigation. I don't think that should even be called an investigation in the first place. It was just more or less like something that is childish, and then because I feel it's an insult to the logic of the average Nigerian. You don't just say you're making investigation and then you make all your parameters known. I mean, you should probably have an insider that is making such investigation nobody knows about, and then the person can actually get to find. I was even thinking of much more forensic what's it called, measures, like observing, trying to get the list of attendees of the of what's it called, within certain period, and then we have to see his name, see Bobrisky's name written during such period. I mean, they take attendance of members of the prison, or those that are actually
Prison, yeah.
people that are actually trying prison time. So I mean, you
Yeah.
should actually try to have records that, oh, he was present, and then should be probably it could be in form of a paper pencil thing, or we could have more forensic evidences, like, oh, this was what Bobrisky wore. These are forensics, and everybody will believe. But they are not. You can't. I'm not a dumb person, for crying out loud. And I think any Nigerian that accepts that is trying to say, oh, I'm a dumb person and I accept such investigation.
Yeah, because part of the things I saw, like I said earlier, I was in jail this same year.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
was in jail because of the Arkview Investment Real Estate Organization who went to lay false allegation on me. So while we were in jail, this is only what I observed. I saw many things, and for me, I took my time to use the opportunity to just learn few things about what's going on in jail. Now, for the people in jail, I would not lie to you. A lot of people have phones inside the jail from in all cell blocks. Everybody has phone. In fact, they are doing POS inside jail.
Yeah, he
So
said
if
so.
you yes, they are doing POS inside jail, and some of them being inside the jail, they've built about 3 4 houses, and they are still serving jail with the kind of money they are making. And then these things are being facilitated by the warders. And the question when it comes to the idea of Bobrisky, you can come in, they will do your thumbs up, they will do your capturing of the fact that you come to jail, but then they can excuse you and let you go out of the system if you can give them good money. At least they have a place where they put you if you are very wealthy, if you want to be in a VIP section and the rest of it. So I think that's B word. I think that's B word in Ikoyi Correctional Center. And so
Yeah.
if the House of Rep are trying to do any investigation, the question should be the people you want to actually investigate. Those people are supposed to come to the House of Rep. Not that you will go to the warders play to the prison and start asking questions. Those ones are just mild thing. You are supposed to bring them to the public And you can see that when they were asking them questions, they were all looking at each other. So some of them are trying to memorize, in my own opinion. Some of them are trying to recall part of the plans of what they already had, that this is what we are going to talk about. So if they were coming out individually and they started asking them questions individually, most of them would make mistake. But when you go to their own house and you start asking them questions, they feel more comfortable over there. So for me, I think some of the House of Rep are kind of giving an impression that they figured out some things, and which they say they are going to put it out to the public. But when it comes to the idea of Bobrisky leaving the country, I think that, in my own opinion, Bobrisky did not serve jail time, regardless of whatever they bring. Then they are supposed to also ask a question. Why was Bobrisky using his phone to make call inside the prison? At least I knew when I was in prison, people are buying SIM card. Yes, in fact, maybe some, we know all these things, because let me just say it. Whatever I'm saying right now, it's how do I put it? It is absolutely true because I was there first. Then the warders will give some boys SIM card. So those guys will sell SIM. Some of the guys will sell phone, and they move around. They go into cell block after cell block. The same warders who are actually selling the phones and are selling the SIM card, when they find it on you, they will seize it. But they use other boys to sell it. But they are the ones that will still collect it from you whenever they find it on you. So, but the SIM card shouldn't be the SIM card that you originally have, because you are serving jail time. And so the call Bobrisky was making, they are supposed to ask for the number and ask the MTN to produce those information. They can see the signal. Where was Bobrisky at when he was making those calls? Then they can get the audio record of it and bring it out to the public. So he has to defend the statement if he actually says it or not. So just going to the jail, not even talking about the phone, not talking about the call. Who is allowed to be using their phone in jail? Most people are not allowed to use their SIM card or their phone in jail. They would get SIM card. You know, I always say something that Yahoo boys make money in jail. Definitely. But they will get a different SIM. So for me, it really doesn't make sense. And I think it's probably trying to flee the country, like you earlier said. Maybe the heat of the moment. But secondly, I think it's the fact that he did not serve jail time. That's just my opinion. Yeah. So now this other one, now that he got apprehended, a second time has started again, and they said while he was in what did they say is one of the police custody, they talked about his health issue, that he's having high blood pressure. From high blood pressure, we start hearing situations of having breast issue. And we are now confused. Which one is it, the breast or is it high blood pressure? High blood pressure. Do you think this is a different stunt?
Yeah, I absolutely agree that it's a different stunt, and it still falls back to what I say. I think the sponsors of Bobrisky, I'm sorry to say, anything I say here is just basically my opinion. I don't have any information from anywhere, but I'm just interpreting the situation logically and objectively. So I feel the backers of Bobrisky basically are trying to push out certain narrative. I don't feel he feels he's gonna be sorry. Nobody does that. I mean, these are things that Nigerian politicians do all the time. They try to force when they are being accused of some certain fraud. So basically, I think he's just playing the script, and then the Nigerian media, which I will always accuse, are also part of the whole corrupt system that are pushing such narrative. I mean, we needed investigation into all these things. You can't just come out and publish information that are out of the blue. There should be proof, evidences that suggest that these things are true. So like I said, at the end of the day, I really want to agree that I do not believe that he served jail time. And I feel at the end of the day, with the way things are going, you might get away with it.
Okay. I also have a question. Do you really think that Bobrisky have a godfather?
So this question basically, it's quite a tough one, but I would believe that he has a godfather.
Now, the reason why I asked the question is basically because when he was in the prison or wherever he was, apartment or whatever, okay, he needed presidential pardon. He had to call Falz the bad guy. He needed money. He had to call Falz or something like that. According to him, he was calling other people. So
Yeah.
if your godfather was the one who gave you an apartment to stay, why can't your godfather work on the presidential pardon? Why can't your godfather also give you money when you need money? Why do you have to be borrowing money from somebody else outside? The guy that actually recorded the information and put it out to the public, that sent it to VeryDarkMan. So if you actually have a godfather who is sponsoring you, why should you truly be lending money from people and be seeking for help from every other place? Is it
Yeah.
like there's a limited, or is just a narration to make people feel like he's a powerful person or she is a powerful person?
I will not say he
So,
or she is a powerful person. I only say that like the idea of the Godfather basically for me is not like the a persona of a Nigerian politician or the persona of a major billionaire in Nigeria. The Godfather could either be probably a Yahoo boy. I'm just to say maybe a Yahoo boy that has like few billions in his account or millions in his account.
yeah, yeah,
So it could actually even be a musician in Nigeria, probably a producer, a record label owner, somebody that it could even be a footballer, a celebrity, someone that could probably just like how can describe it now, sponsor his lifestyle in general. Someone that has like that form of connection to the upper echelons in Nigeria, like those that the big wigs, the ones that make decisions in Nigeria. Not like have a great form of influence to make these people change their rules, and then probably say of course if he truly had that kind of godfather that had such influence, he wouldn't be in the prison in the first place. They could actually just
yeah,
bribe the judge, and then they'll probably waive the, because he's not the first person to what's it called, mutilate the naira note. He's not the first person, and
yeah,
and after that some other person have done that, and they've gone away with it. So definitely
yeah,
it means his godfather is someone that will probably have low level of influence relating to the Nigerian judiciary system or the political system in Nigeria. But I feel that person has a form of clout. But I think revealing who this godfather is might really put the godfather in trouble. Let me put it that way. But I'll not even call. I think I'm using the word godfather wrongly. Probably I'll just say a sponsor. So you might not only have a
yeah.
godfather. Okay, Bobrisky has sponsor or sponsors. Yeah.
Okay. Because I have thought about it. For me, I'm just like, who would be the godfather? And in fact, is it Obi Kubana that is the guy who mutilated also, that was being charged
Yeah,
for mutilating
exactly.
money or something? And he was
Exactly.
granted bail, and this particular individual did not have godfather. So how come did this person go scot free and Bobrisky was held? So for me, do you think with what you see when it comes to the idea of the House of Rep, do you think that the House of Rep are actually trying to get justice, or they are trying to do their digging, or you think that maybe the House of Rep, they are just this is just opinion, we are just rubbing our mind, or do you think the House of Rep, they are not doing their best? In fact, maybe they just want this to end, or perhaps, yes, even what I'm thinking, I say, do you think they are actually doing this just to pin down everything on Very Dark Man? Because if they are actually interested in doing their work, there was a time I listed a countless of questions you can actually ask these people. Number one, the people who actually held Bobrisky, the EFCC officers who actually held Bobrisky, those officers are supposed to show up. Then
But
they need to verify the account of Bobrisky and his brother, if there's any money that left their account during the time when Bobrisky was in the EFC custody. and before he went to jail. So if there's any money that leave his account that tends to be a little bit big money, maybe 10 million, since he says 15 million naira, it might be exaggerating, might be 5 million. But if any money leave, let them trace where that money goes. Now the individuals, they are supposed to ask the EFCC officials, both the inspector that collected the statements, both the officers that went to arrest him, what are the relationship of this arrest like? What happened? What did you see before you went ahead to arrest Bobrisky? Is there any deal among you guys? And then if they're asking these people on a stand, not on the aspect of you just call one of their boss and that one came. You remember the other time EFCC wants to investigate EFCC. Now, EFCC, now they brought one person to come and represent them, and that person just give account of something that does not really make any sense. So I was like, do you think that the House of Rep are actually doing their digging? And when it comes to the phone call, and they are not yet presenting the phone calls that Bobrisky actually had, probably even had more calls, and he spoke to more people that we have not even seen. The MTN or this network people can provide us every call during the time Bobrisky was in prison. These are the things I think the House of Rep can do. But do you think that they are trying their best to reveal it, or they are just trying to do everything to pin it out to VeryDarkMan at the end of the day? Because these people, for me, I don't really trust anything that has to do with Nigerian government. I love them. I wish we can get good people, but I don't really trust them. So in a sense, do you think they are just doing it to pin it on VeryDarkMan? Because if they are doing it to pin it on VeryDarkMan, then that might imply that Bobrisky actually have a godfather. But or do you think they do not know, they are not that intelligent? Because you know, a lot of people on that seat, they are not graduates first.
Definitely. So basically, I feel I feel that they're actually digging, but the information that is being presented to the public is not the entire truth. There are certain information that are privileged to the House of Rep members. I feel. I also feel that the interest of the House of Rep members are usually directed towards something else, not what we are seeing. I feel basically, this individuals are thinking for themselves. They're not actually thinking about Bobrisky or VDM. Some of them have cases with EFCC. Some of them have cases with EFCC, and I feel so. For me, I'm putting myself in the shoe of an average politician in that house, in that seat. I'll be thinking, oh, I'm a PDP member. One day, EFCC will come after me. So I want to understand how Bobrisky evaded jail time, so that probably when EFCC comes to me, probably I'll probably use the same method and then evade jail time. So I feel basically there's something deeper than what we are seeing. Because at the end of the day, one of the House of Rep members said she was embarrassed to be a member of the panel discussing about Bobrisky when the country had much more trivial issues to handle. And then some other person just like put her off, and then continue the next set of questions. So I think that it's more than just pinning the whole situation on VDM, because at the end of the day, if Bobrisky actually had a godfather within the political space, I feel he will not be summoned in the first place. Then even if he summoned, I think it will not get to a level where they will probably have to call he or she again for another sitting. So I think it's just more or less like trying to understand the whole situation for their own sake. I'm really sorry to say, because this thing, I think, is actually revealing of the rot within the Nigerian judiciary system, and how the fact that certain individuals actually are seeking ways to evade jail time and then still live among normal Nigerians, and then people will feel, oh, on paper this person should be in jail, but nothing will happen.
Yeah, you actually pointed out to something. Probably you pay attention to it. It's just like this EFCC thing. Most of them will probably have bad record with the EFCC. Probably the EFCC are not investigating them at the moment, but they know there is a possibility that the EFCC can investigate them. Perhaps they cannot remove the EFCC. So the best thing they have to do is not to make much digging that would indict the EFCC. Because let's put it this way: if perhaps it is possible that Bobrisky gave the EFCC money. Now that means that the EFCC will have to bring out those people, and then they have to sack those people. And the Mr. Olukoyede, which is the EFCC chairman, now has to be very serious on all these people who actually work together to make sure they got this EFCC who actually collect the bribe, and now begins to investigate their account. You know, with your phone number, I can get to your BVN. From your BVN, I can get to your account. And before you know, Wahala will bust. And every single one of them will most likely would have been called for, some of them, sorry, would most likely would have been called in the past, and some of them. So it seems as if they are not doing their due diligence, because I have sat down in my house and I think of it. I'm like, I would investigate this thing and I will get to the bottom of it if I was asked to do it. But with whatever they are doing, it doesn't look, it's just like they are just dancing around, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a jamboree. They're just acting. It's more like a movie.
Season movie, just to distract us from the fuel prices. Well, let us quickly move to the next one. Before we even touch on the Falz, the bad guy, and the VeryDarkMan issue, let us just quickly touch on this particular subject of VeryDarkMan and VeryFairMan. Now, there's this guy you call VeryFairMan. I began to hear about him about 2 weeks ago. And when I started doing some investigation or just looking at him, if you go on Google right now and you type VeryFairMan, there's nothing, no information about him. He's just like a VeryDarkMan is supporting. And this guy also now is proclaiming that he's collecting money for people. Now, I looked at the initiation and I'm like, VeryDarkMan, you are opening an NGO. You have strived so much to be able to get to this level where Nigerians can trust you. Nigerians hardly trust anything. The only thing Nigerians truly trust is their pastor and nothing else. And maybe their children, in a sense. So you have gotten to a place where you have earned the trust of Nigerians. Bringing this guy called VeryFairMan, and within a period of time that I knew this VeryFairMan, I was already saying there's going to be an issue. And before you know, he had an ambassadorship with the ambassador, or he was marketing something for Ecolis, this medicine for those who have sexual, maybe erection dysfunction or something like that. And so I was looking at it. I was now asking myself, do you think in the long run that guy is going to be a trouble for VeryDarkMan, or do you think is supposed to initiate more Nigerian youth so they can take steps? But you know, initiating them might make it look like cultism way of thinking. You know, the Rattel methodology. So do you think it's something that he should be separating himself from people like this? Or do you think it's a good idea that he's endorsing certain individuals who are willing to take the mantle and work with him?
Yeah, I'm interested to say, like, even though I'm a Nigerian, I'm always skeptical of my fellow Nigerians. So for me, I feel him endorsing the VeryFairMan guy is like, like you said, putting himself into like a future trouble. Because at the end of the day, he has already endorsed him, and then if this guy does anything wrong, it will come back to him and they'll say, oh, VeryDarkMan endorsed this guy. So that means VeryDarkMan is aware of it. So basically, it's actually like a what's it called? A form of passive aggression, like it's a form of self-harm that you shouldn't have considered daily before making. So, and I had to give VDM was really a very smart guy for him to like do that. But it turns out that he probably was clouded by his fame and his cloud. Then
or probably he was just being emotional. Like people idolize somebody, idolize him.
Exactly.
And the person has big, and the person has big muscles like him.
Yeah, so it's just being clouded by that emotion that I probably have got to that level where I can now endorse. Because this guy, you don't even know his background. I mean, you need to even show working. At least any guy show working for like a month. Then before you can say, oh, this guy I can. But this guy just came. I don't. Nobody knows anything about him. I only seen a single video about him, and then he said he's now. He said he's now, and nobody. I don't think there's anybody as fought for. He said he is now fighting for Nigerian, the Nigerian masses and then the likes. And I mean, him getting that ambassadorial position for the sexual health substance, I think it's even a what's it called? It's something that is against what VDM had stood for in
Yeah,
recent years.
yeah.
I think VDM is one of those guys that stand against all these non-recommended substances, either for sexual
No,
health
it was actually NAFDAC approved, but the
or
thing is that Very Dark Man has always stayed against anything that you're going to give him money and you can have a hold on him. For you to be
exactly.
a good and some of my when I made a video about the Very Fair Man and Very Dark Man, some audience were telling me
Poor
that
network.
some audience were actually telling me that there's nothing wrong in it, but I was not asking a question like, how can you be an activist when you are being endorsed to start selling products for people? Because even if the product have NAFDAC number, there are a lot of products that will have NAFDAC number now, and in the next 2 years they would not be doing NAFDAC stuff again. They start changing the ingredients inside, so it would affect your reputation. And someone who is actually going for money, looking for ways to be able to earn money through ambassadorship and the rest of it, it doesn't make sense to me for you to be an activist, to call yourself an activist. You are most likely doing it for money's sake. And then I also have a question, which the question is, if Very Dark Man was not successful and Nigerians are rallying around Very Dark Man, will this guy, Very Fair Man, would he have come out to say that I want to be Very Fair Man? So
Yeah,
these were my questions.
I don't think so. I think it's riding on the cloud of VDM, and he's probably using that to his own advantage. I mean, that's what I know of the average Nigerian, basically, getting to use the advantage, from different opportunities and the like. So I was not surprised. I mean, it was always coming. There are multiple VDM, what's it called, fake accounts on social media. So you
Yeah,
know. So
yeah.
it was expected. It's actually expected, but I felt video should be smarter enough to handle the situation.
No problem. Okay, let's move to the next topic about this Femi Falana files the bad guy matter. And what I thought about it was files the bad guy earlier this week. I think he had an interview, and in the interview he spoke about what actually happened. And in his statement, I paid attention to what he's saying. He wasn't saying that what Very Dark Man said was false. He said what Very Dark Man said alleged him of being bisexual or something like that, or homosexual, and so he's upset with that, and so that's why he's going to be taking it with Very Dark Man. What has been your take on this issue of Femi Falana, Falz the bad guy, and Very Dark Man? What way do you think they could have handled it, or what do you think they're actually doing at the moment that is proper? Just give me your own insight.
Yeah, I think the first thing I would say is that they're actually handling it wrong, and both sides from the two parties. I mean, like basically, I understand foul. Like basically, I will not lie. When I saw that video from VDM, I went to check out Falz gay, whether it's truly homosexual. I'm excited to say, but on a more serious note, they are handling it wrongly. I think they should probably add an amicable engagement on the
Yeah,
situation. You should have probably apologized that, if I came across as someone that was trying to say that Falz is homosexual, I'm really sorry about that. I'm not saying he's homosexual. So you should have probably given that apology. So you shouldn't have like made it like a reference that, I'm not going to say anything. So I think, I mean, if I was the one, I would actually feel bad that someone is saying I'm homosexual and I am not. But in a country where homosexual is actually illegal, it could actually put him in trouble if Nigeria was actually a country that follows the law. But at the same time, I
yeah,
feel Falz himself also what's it called made wrong decisions, or is part of the multiple wrongdoings in this situation. I mean, if you're going to must go sue anybody for defamation, I think the first person you should sue is Bobrisky. It shouldn't even be Very Dark Man. It should have probably. I mean, the voice note is not coming from Very Dark Man. It's coming directly from Bobrisky's voice note or phone call. So that
yeah,
should have everybody would have known that. Then after that, then she will probably come out and say, in the form of video, oh, I'm coming out to say VeryDarkMan, you need to apologize for calling me homosexual. You understand? And
Yeah,
then if you don't do
yeah,
that, I will sue you for defamation. Then if
yeah,
VeryDarkMan decides to create a video saying, "Oh, this is not what I meant," then then should have probably gone for defamation. But in the entirety of everything, in the entirety of the situation, and when I look at it from a probably holistic perspective, I feel it's just a form of diversion. They're probably diverting our attention from the main issue. The main issue should be the
Bobrisky.
evade prison time or not. That should be the main issue. All these things about where that man
Yeah,
files, it should be something that they should sort out in a bar or in their room. It shouldn't be something that should be public. And I
yeah,
feel
because
this decision has really made me to understand the Nigerian public better because it's actually opened my eyes to the reasoning of the people we call freedom fighters in Nigeria. Those that that were actually the pushers of Peter Obi for presidency and those that were pushing obedient. No, of course I actually rooted for Peter Obi during the last election. I wouldn't lie. But I feel like those that were the major pushers of his election, when I viewed their opinion on this situation, and I realized that these people are not really fighting for Nigerians. These people are fighting for their pockets, or they are under somebody's influence. Somebody is probably pushing a narrative and then they are following. Also, they're under somebody's paycheck. I mean, I don't call names now, but you can just go out to check out their tweets and their posts. I mean, the main argument from Nigerians were that, oh, VDM is trying to tarnish the reputation of Femi Falana, that is the father to what's it called, Falz. And
Falz, yeah.
I'm not sure to say, I don't know. I'm not defaming him, but I don't see where this man's reputation is. I can't find his reputation. They say he fights for injustice in Nigeria. But I'm trying to say, where are the evidences? What is the issue? I mean, this is a man that literally because Nigerians don't check out their history. Grandfather was the
Mhm.
man that the Tinubu that everybody is against now in 1999 after the election against Ganifa Wahimi for what's it called, for forging certificates. Grandfather defended Tinubu for crying out loud. So people are saying he has so much reputation in defending the what's it called, the oppressed. I mean, where are the
Injustice, yeah.
evidence? Yeah, so basically, if they are accusing Femi Falana of doing something, I feel the person that should be sued is Bobrisky, not VDM. Of course, and I can understand if VDM has said one or two things about the possibility of Femi Falana being involved could be defamatory. But the first thing that should have done is suing Bobrisky. That if he was actually a liar, that Bobrisky lied in that
Yeah,
what's called, you should have even sue, but then make an argument that, hello, young man, you don't have to put me in this situation. You need to apologize. Because I think there were statements that VDM also said that involved Femi
yeah,
Falana. I will not deny that.
yeah. That's actually true. That's actually true. My take has also been that it's something they should have ignored first, because not every battle, because everything they are just capitalizing is someone says insinuation and innuendo. I'm like, wait, you have to leave all this Nintendo and all this grammar off. Someone has said it, but before he said it, there was something that was played. Now, it was part of what was played that make him insinuate or bring out something like that. Now, according to the law, VDM should be held responsible, but for that particular statement later. But the major thing is, how do we prove it to the public that we are not part of this? That is the first fight. You don't even need to go to VDM first. VDM can be the last person, but the Bobrisky, for you to play this thing, because everybody knows that's his voice. That is
Definitely.
the voice of Bobrisky, and for them to start coming out and going after VDM, I'm just like, even sometimes we are just doing. For me, I'm just being objective with the way I do my things. I am not like on any other on any side. If I see you're doing what is right, I will say you're doing what is right. If I see you do what is wrong tomorrow, I just tell you what you did is wrong. So for the Femi Falana, let's see what is going to happen, because I think at the end of the day, whatever tends to be his reputation at the moment is actually at stake. Because first, perhaps VeryDarkMan goes to prison, or he's asked to pay 500 million and all of that. Number one, that money is not going to come out. Then let's leave that aside. If you actually do it, and VeryDarkMan is the man of the people at the moment, what is the chances that the people would ever support you, or people would always want to do things that will affect you later in life? So that's just my take on it. What do you want to add up to it, if there's any?
Yeah, I understand where the reputation is coming. If the reputation is coming from the perspective that, I mean, people might not want to have anything to do with the Falanas again, I think I will understand. But if it's a situation of saying the reputation is coming from what he has done, his precedence, I mean, I'm sorry to say I can't see any precedence here. This man is like the typical Nigerian lawyer that are fighting for, you know, fighting for their client. Let me put it that way. I mean, if my client is a wrong client, if I was a lawyer, a client that was on the wrong side, I would defend him to the last. To the last. I mean, I don't care whether what I'm defending is a lie or is a true. I will just probably do my best. But that's what the law. That was my client's demand. So if that is where they're talking about reputation from, I mean, that would be very. That would be wrong. That would be wrong, and that would be like that would be hypocrisy in my view.
Yeah, let us just run on these two subjects before we close for today. The first one should be Seun Kuti, and okay, let's make Seun Kuti and Aisha Yusuf the last one. Let's just talk about this Asari Dokubo's comment. When Asari Dokubo earlier just made a video and he put it out to the public saying that the Yorubas are betrayers. And he spoke about the Ijo, this thing, Tinubu is no more supporting him and the rest of it. What has been your overall take on the view of Asari Dokubo?
I just feel the man is after his pocket. I'm trying to say, and he has been lousy about it. You know, for those that expect so much from Tinubu, I don't know. I'm trying to say, it's just like you're expecting to get water filled from using a basket. Basically, I'm not saying that President Tinubu is a bad person right from time, but I mean I ask Nigerians a simple question: what did Tinubu actually promise Nigerians before he was elected as president? He did not promise Nigerians anything. He made a slip of tongue and he said he will reduce the purchasing power of Nigerians, and he would widen the tax net, and then we'll collect more and more money. And so these are things he said during his campaigns. And yeah, truly, he has reduced the purchasing power of Nigerians, and then the tax net is getting wider and wider. And so basically, when people say, "Oh, Yorubas are what's it called? Yorubas are betrayers," he's just speaking from his own perspective. And then I would advise anybody that related to his tribe to not hold such perspective. Tinubu does not represent the Yoruba tribe.
Represents Yoruba, yeah.
That Yorubas are not betrayers. We have had a Yoruba president in Nigeria from the year 1999 to 2007, and that was Olusegun Obasanjo. And would you tell me that was a betrayer? I mean, this was someone that really brought the internet to us. The internet that we are using today, he was one of the facilitators. So Tinubu does not represent what the average Yoruba is. And so because I don't know, if you look at it critically, the Yoruba did not even vote for him. I mean, the Yorubas in Lagos State, he lost woefully in Lagos State, and other states it was just few votes from here, few votes from there, and the like. So I think he's just speaking from his own pained
angle.
Perspective.
Yeah.
Tinubu did not promise any Nigerian anything. So nobody. I mean, I was having a recap of Tinubu's campaign this morning, and I was seeing. I think when he went to Kano, and he said, "Oh, everybody in Kano, I'm here. I just want to dance." That was what he said for his 5 minutes campaign. He said he wants to dance, and he danced. So what did Tinubu promise anybody? Tinubu not promise anybody anything. I mean, he went to Kaduna. He was just saying Nigerians. That's it, and he left. So these are things that happen. Tinubu never promised any Nigerian anything. So everybody should accept the way it is.
That's true, because on my own take on this Asari Dokubo thing was like, okay, you joined somebody to whatever abracadabra they did, and he got to the position of power. So now the person is not doing things that fits what your expectations are. Now the whole tribe of the Yorubas becomes the issue. So I'm trying to see what it will is alliance with the Northerners. I want to see what is actually going to
Is that so?
yeah. Sometimes it's funny in this country, like we have so many uninformed or unintelligent elderly people, and you ask yourself, how did they live so long? Because this is the same person who said that where your rights stop during the time people decided to protest about the fuel situation. He said where your rights stop, that's where another person's rights start. So during this time, he's still in support of Tinubu, and besides, he's still the one who said if Tinubu did not do well, hold me responsible. So during the time you are fighting, not allowing people to be able to protest in Ijo, and you say if anybody protests, you are going to deal with the person. How does that sound? Like you are just sounding like an authoritarian person, and it's not like you
Yeah.
sound. That's what exactly what he is. And
We
then now you're
yeah.
and now he's claiming because he's not expecting he's not seeing exactly what he expects from Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I wish him well, and let's see the progress of the Ijaw people. But God will help everybody. So the last one we just want to touch on before we round up for today is is the matter of Seun Kuti and Aisha Yusuf. Seun Kuti said something in one of his videos. He said if Sharia law, if I think what he said was they had an altercation. He and Aisha Yusuf, they kind of have an altercation, and it's about the private sector and the public sector. I think Seun Kuti is on the private sector. Aisha Yusuf was standing on the public sector, and so I saw Aisha Yusuf rambling, saying that what did they call his name? Seun Kuti is not a good child. He was just born by mistake, and the rest of it. She said a lot of things, and Seun Kuti was pointing out like, if you are saying as a woman you want to fight for the freedom of every woman, you have to fight and free yourself first, because the hijab you are wearing is a religion of somebody else. And if you actually go to the religion of those particular people, you are not going to have the opportunity to even come outside and talk. Target of you being in the political space, it is going to be totally impossible. What is your full take on everything that happened between Seun Kuti and Aisha Yusuf? And what do you think would have been a better way that they should have probably handled it?
I mean, it's like two people fighting for the same thing, and then two people fighting for the same thing, and then nobody no understands each other. So,
Each other.
so I think exactly. So they should only, build a form of foundation or parameter and stuff before having their discussion or conversation. So before they started throwing tantrums at each other. So basically, it's more or less like they don't understand each other, and then everyone is trying to say, "Oh, my opinion is superior to the other opinion," before it went
Yeah.
bloody. Like, I mean, I wouldn't like two adults, going as far as insulting their backgrounds, because it's so vile, and it's so disappropriate, thinking about the fact that Aisha spoke to his parentage, and then what's it called? Sheon spoke to her religion. So I mean, these are things that shouldn't be brought to the public space. But at the end of the day, I'll keep saying that when I think of those at the forefront of freedom fight in Nigeria, those at the forefront of political liberation in Nigeria. I think it's more or less like people fighting for their pocket. I'm sorry to say, it's more or less like people saying, deciding, oh, this is what I want for Nigeria, and then they go. At the end of the day, it's not like for their pocket, it's just for their own group, their own selection, their own section. And I think Nigerians have to like wake up and realize that we don't have any messiahs here. We don't have any freedom fighter. If we are going to like rescue this country, it has to be together, and not that we'll
Yes.
focus turning our energy through one person. Because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
if you look at it critically, Tinubu started off as a freedom fighter. the same Tinubu as our president now started as a freedom fighter during the Abacha tenure. Now that he's the president, after fighting for the freedom through the years, I mean over 20 years freedom fighting, now you're president, things are worse. So it just shows that any freedom fighter you see out there is, trying to push out a narrative that suits his pocket or the pocket of his friends or his influences.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I really appreciate your insight on that because for me I always believe that Nigerians, we all have to stand up. We all have a responsibility. And some people, when they're out of the country, they kind of say, most Nigerians that are in diaspora, they kind of say things negative about Nigeria. And for me, I'm just looking at them, I'm like, when that place you go to, when they did not favor you, you realize that this Nigeria is the only thing we actually truly have. And if we begin to wake up together and decide to make it work, that is the only time it's going to work. Because most people, imagine right now, just like that situation of Portable. Portable made some kind of hell of money, and they say, why will I go out and fight and protect? So most of all these people, it's like they've already understand Nigerians. Like if there's anybody who is freedom acting to be a freedom fighter, let us even see, maybe one day they will call VDM and they may give you like 1 billion naira, and then you will just hear that VDM has probably gone to Russia. From there, there's nothing that is impossible. So it is our collective efforts. Yeah, it is our collective effort that can make this country work fine. And I think social media is kind of good in a stage. Like we all can come out and talk about this, but at the end of the day, we need to start taking actions towards our discussion. So, what will be your last take, and what do you think? What's your view on the future of Nigeria? What do you think is the possibility of the things we can do that can maybe make a change for the next what do we call, for the next time of our life? Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very difficult, but one thing that we can do, is to, create small groups, in the groups from the very local, what's it called, our local areas, basically, create small groups where we talk about political issues, and then we create, form of action points or action plans on how we intend to, affect our community. And it could be a form of say, oh, we come together and then we write a letter to the local government and say, our road is not good, please come and help us with the road. That alone is an action. Before we now think of, expanding to, the local government area, the region, the states, the regions, and then the national area. Because for now, I think people should actually focus on their local communities. I mean, you want Nigeria to be good, but you don't expect Tinubu to come all the way from Abuja to your street. He will never come. I mean, he knows that you have a local government chairman. So I mean, so we need to start taking actions like this, like rural actions, before we think of the a larger action. So it starts with forming group of friends, and not like group of friends that you just go and drink beer at the bar, but I mean group of friends that are intentional and trying to influence their communities positively.
Yeah. Thank you very much. You actually hit the nail on the head.
Yeah,
Oh,
I need to charge my
okay.
phone.
Okay, your battery is about to go off.
Yes.
Okay. We have already come to the end of the show. Thank you, Mr. Adila Olubode, for your advice and for your comments. I really appreciate you joining me. We were not expecting. I just suddenly came and I told you, oh, let's come live. And thank you for sacrificing your time to be live. I
Yeah,
appreciate
it's
it.
always a pleasure. It's always a
Yeah.
pleasure.
Let's see how it's going to go. Maybe probably if you're a chance next week or next week Saturday, or any other time, I would love to have you on the show. For
Yeah.
everyone who is out there, yeah, if you haven't subscribe to the channel, support the man of thought, support the channel, subscribe, like, and share. Hope to see you in the next one. Adios, amigos. Bye bye for now. Thank you, Mr. Deola.
Yeah,
Everybody.
welcome.
Yeah, bye for now.